there's more cards sold at Mother's Day and more phone calls made on Mother's Day than any other day of the year. Isn't that amazing? And so we want you to feel very welcome this morning, all the moms that are here. And I know the families that have come in to join with moms. Some of them has been a kind of a surprise for you. But we're just happy to have you all here. And we're looking forward to a wonderful Mother's Day. And every Mother's Day, we honor one person. We're going to be honoring them later on. And we also honor all of our women. And it's a great honor to be able to do that at the church. We love our moms, amen. I was with my mom Friday. I got to stop off and be with her and bought her a rose. And I gave her a card with some money in it. My mom always loves money. How many moms like money? My mom loves money. And so I gave it to her, and just got to spend that evening with her. Actually, we got to be with them on our way out to the New England states, and then we stayed with them coming back. It was like right in the middle of a 10-hour journey. But a long trip. We had a great time, visited 6 states, and went through 5 states to get there, but we finally ended our journey. A little bit of sciatic nerve damage from driving so far, and hobbled around most of the time. But I tell you what, my wife and I had the most wonderful time. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a trip as much as we enjoyed that. We only got in one fight one time, and because she thought a semi was going to hit us. And I just whipped right on by that semi, man. And I said, just stay in your book, read your book, stop looking at my driving. So, other than that, everything went wonderful. And you know, to be able to go that many days and not have a major fight, that's a miracle. And we got back safely, drove through the night, got in about 11 o'clock at night on Friday night. But we were just excited about being back home. There's no place like home. Amen. And God is so good to us. We want to begin the service by giving to God. And then we have many things we're doing today. And so we wanted to take care of that and then enter into a petition to lead us in a worship song while we're taking up the offering. And after that, we'll get into our presentation of all that God has in store for certain lovely people today. Amen? And let's give our moms a wonderful hand clap. Welcome. Our ushers can come at this time. Ushers can come and help us with the offering this morning. Ron had a successful surgery, took his gallbladder out. Yeah. And we really good at the start of the day. Here he is. I think he was here Wednesday. This is his first time to be on Sunday. So said he's doing tremendous. And I'm so happy. We prayed that would happen. And I appreciate Wayne telling me. He called me right away and told me it was laparoscopic and wonderful. So we're so happy that he could be here today. Brother Ron, why don't you bless the offering this morning?
So as we did this morning, Lord, let us do it. And I ask, Lord, for the power of your Spirit to be upon the service today, as well as on the praise team. The Lord will not fail to give you thanks and praise in Jesus.
Amen. God bless you for your giving this morning.
Stronger than the power of
you've shed your love abroad in our hearts, filled us with your great love. God, there's no greater love than that a man would lay down his life for a friend. But you, while we were yet sinners, laid your life down for us. You could have easily passed it over. You could have easily allowed us to pay the punishment of sin ourselves. Lord, in your great love that never runs out, still ministering and saving and changing lives to this very moment, thousands of years later, still having an impact that's changing the world. And for that love, we praise you this morning. We pray you would shower this place with your love today. God, fill every heart with it, every mom, every family, every child. Let them experience your love today. We'll thank you for it in Jesus' wonderful name. In his name we pray. Amen. Hallelujah. Seated, which is the presence of the Lord. Well, every year we try to decide on a mother, and it's so hard because all of you mothers are worthy of it. Some are just special. We've been able to honor my mother-in-law a couple of years ago before she died. I'm so happy we did that. And we've got to honor Sister Clay last year. We had a wonderful time honoring her. Sister Mary a few years ago, we did her and various ones, and Mary and Marlene and Tracy years ago, we did them. And whatever the Lord lays on our hearts, that's the one we like to celebrate. And I usually spend some time praying, and the Lord speaks to my heart about that one. I share it. And when they disagree with me, I say, it doesn't matter. That's what I chose. No. They've always agreed with me. And we've chosen one today. We're going to introduce her to you with a video this morning, and I trust it'll be a blessing to you and a blessing to that person. And we'll be honoring them for the next several minutes here this morning. So if we can have the video, we'll put the slides down. And I think it's a slide presentation we have worked out here. hard to keep it quiet. I didn't tell anybody until just a few days ago. Just a few people knew about it, even on the board. So we didn't want it to leak out and get everybody informed. And I didn't want Jonathan coming in until the video started, so it would really be a shock to you. And she's Jonathan's her oldest son, and Carla, his wife, and we're so happy to have them with us. And Tim and Jessica, I'm sure. Did you get any red flags? Maybe a little bit. I was afraid. I knew Jonathan walked in.
Him sitting back here is unusual because he's usually in the office, and I'm wondering why he's not doing the offering. You know, him sitting back here.
Well, as you can tell, don't mess with Susie. That's a 9mm Glock she has. So, I learned that a long time ago. I've only been at the church a couple months. We had a 4th of July picnic or something here, and her and Sharon Stewart dressed up, and they were throwing water balloons. I just didn't see her out running around throwing water balloons, and all of a sudden they ganged up on me, her and Sharon, and blasted me with water balloons. Whoa, that's Susie Carter. And so I got an education real quick on how to handle her. So we love Susie, and we're so happy to honor her today. It's been on my heart for some time to do it. Actually, from last year is when I had it in my heart to share it out, and felt that we needed to honor Susie. She does so much around here, and has been a blessing to our church 1,000 times over. Her and Wayne, they've been married 51 years now, and that to me is just a great, great mile marker. And we are honored to have such a wonderful couple in our church. And so we have some things we want to do for you, Susie. Someone asked you to come on up here, and if you would, I'd ask Wayne, but he's on a scooter. And he's half crippled, he hurt his foot and is down. But we want Susie to come on up here. Tim to come right now. He's going to help me, or Jessica too. And Jonathan, I'm sorry, Jonathan.
You're
Boys can come, but she's married. Set up with mom. Get my cues straight here. Tim, you can sit over here. We know we're really a part of the family anyway. It's your full Hey. Slide on down, Tim, give us the next one. This time, I asked the boys if they wanted to say something, and they said they would be honored to. And I can't wait for this. Jonathan's been working on it for days now. So Jonathan, we'll let you kick this off, and you're going to just share all those experiences. We saw that naughty little boy on the video, and that's Jonathan, their oldest boy. John, why don't you come? God bless you. Let's give my hands.
So Carla's asking on the way down here. She goes, so you know what to say yet? Well, normally I'm not really bashful for words, so I'll start off nice and I'll end it off a good note. But, God blessed me with a good mom. She's a praying mom. Was she a perfect mom? No, she's not. I've not been a perfect son. But her prayers has kept me alive. I'm kind of one of those that's lived the wild life, crazy. And I know it's my mom's prayers that's kept me alive. You guys know her as Sister Susie. You see a little Pentecostal bun, but let me tell you something. I've seen the other side. So Carl and I are kind of joking, and one of my favorite things to say is, y'all remember the house phones that used to hang on the wall? Well, we had one with a 642-foot cord. So me being the wonderful child that I was, I would be in the middle of getting screamed at, hollered at, and yelled at, and chased me around with a belt. And that phone would ring, and she'd pick it up and say, I thank God for her. She's been a blessing in my life, and like I said, we're not perfect, but we're just people. And, you know, I thank her. I thank God for her.
Tim, and of course most of you know Tim, and Jessica have been around for years here at Bethel. We love Tim. We still have to call him all the time to come and help us. And he put the video together for us, and I appreciated that. He's done that many times. I knew he was an expert at it, but we was trying to keep that secret from Susie. And they got it all put together. Some of those pictures were from my wife. She dug those out, and I thought, oh my word, that's wonderful. And so some of the real comical ones, that was my wife. Tim got a few of those. But, tell us some words about your mom, Tim.
I am very, very blessed to have my mom, Susie, as my mom. I've got some stories to share as well. But I'll start off just saying one of the most powerful things I can think of about my mom is the fact that she is a prayer warrior. She prays for many needs. She prays for my brother and I, and I'm so thankful for that. I believe that has gotten me through a lot of hard times as well. I can remember the times of her praying for me before going to school in the mornings, and when I was a teenager and really didn't want to do that, and she'd grab my hands and want to pray. So I am so thankful for her and thankful for the example that she's been and the blessing that she's been, as well as a grandmother to my kids and to Jonathan's kids. So thankful for that. So thankful that she's there and she's done so much for us. So I have often been accused of the one that didn't get enough spankings. I'll just say that out there. But there were two incidents that I am aware of where I did dodge the bullet. And one of them, I was outside playing in a mud puddle and getting dirty when I shouldn't have been. And she took me down in the basement and bent me over the laundry room, the chair, and she had a piece of wood in her hand. And my brother actually stopped her. He wishes he wouldn't have. And then there was another incident with a piece of wood, and I think I said something smart aleck, and I was in my room, and she came in there with a piece of wood, and I said something smart, and she went to turn the light switch off with a piece of wood and actually knocked it off the wall. So I didn't get beat that time either. So a couple of times I dodged the bullet. And then my favorite story was when I was very little, I was probably 5 or 6, and we were going down Powder Mill Road out here, and she got pulled over by the police, and she did get a warning, but as soon as my dad walked in the door at 4:05 that night, I told him, Mom got a ticket, Dad. She got pulled over. And always her rebuttal is it was just a warning, but I always had to tell as much as I could. So, but I am thankful for my mom. I love her very much. She is a blessing to our family, a blessing to the church here, and I'm so thankful for her.
Anyone that's known Susie for any amount of time know that she loves daisies.
Amen.
Yellow daisies. Any kind of daisy, but she really likes yellow. Anything yellow, like a Mustang or a Camaro, anything like that. She's been after Wayne for 51 years to buy her a yellow Mustang, and he just won't do it. But you pray for her, okay? Pray for him. But we have some special things we want to set around the daisy. The first is a bouquet of daisies in a like a jug there, an antique jug that they love antiques. And the daisy represents loyal love and innocency. That is what the flower mouth speaks, and that's what is Susie.
Thank you so much, thank you.
Amen. Pat has something she wants to share this morning.
We all love Susie, we know she is a servant of this church, and she loves every minute of it. And he already said the Daisy, Daisy, friend, to keep you clean when you're in the kitchen, because if there's an event at this church, Susie's the first one here, and she's the last one to leave.
Right.
We love you, Susie, we love you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you, thank you. I am so undeserving.
Well, we're not done yet, so we're just getting started here. In fact, we're going to have daisies through the entire service, so you'll see those later on.
More daisies. So we got this for her front door because we checked with Wing to see if she actually already had one, and she did, so that was great. But as you can tell, even as she's dressed, she loves daisies, right? Yes. So, and I thought it was just a perfect fit because not only does she take care of her home very well, but she takes care of this church very well, doesn't she? And so every time she looks at this, I want you to know that we appreciate how that you make everybody in this church feel so welcome. You take such good care of us. Anytime anybody's sick, she's always checking on us and letting us know all the updates from the hospital stays and all the, anybody else that has illnesses, anything she finds out, she lets us know. And she loves you, she loves all of us. In fact, I heard one lady, I think it's in the report, she said, I think Sister Susie owns the church. Well, she's our mother, isn't she? And just like you take good care of us, all the things, and taking a pastor has to other things.
Daisy doormat. A lot of people have graced their home, and they've graced people's lives 1,000 times over. And we just want you to know that you are loved at Bethel. Nobody could love God more and love a church more than Susie has loved Bethel and Wayne. And you can't separate the two. Really, you cannot. And I thought her dress was so appropriate for today. As soon as she walked in, I thought, oh, hallelujah. The pictures will be beautiful. And my wife even made you a little box of daisies there for putting all your goodies in. And that's not all yet. I still got a few more things here. I finally remember everything. This is a couple of gift cards to your favorite restaurants. And these are just a little something for you and Wayne to go out. They told me we're a couple places you like to go. And so we gave you some certificates for that to enjoy yourself. And even the gifts that we have for the ladies, all you wonderful ladies that are up here, I want to talk a little bit about these because they got a daisy on them too. So I want you to see my wife was going to paint them yellow, and I stopped her and I said, no, leave them silver. And there's a reason for that. It says abundant grace on them. Grace be to you. Ephesians 1:2 is the thought behind these keychains. And I thought of the grace of God in Susie's life. And a lot of people don't know what she went through as a young girl. But as a young girl, even before she was a teenager, her mom and dad went through a divorce. It was very hard because the dad was a pastor, and Susie always been in church. And I can't even imagine the scar, the hurt, I've seen those tears many, many times when you've talked about it and prayed about it, and is very passionate about her love for the Lord, because it was the Lord that brought her through all those difficult years of her life. And she never got out of church through all of that. Her mom got there and got out of church, and things fell apart in other people's lives in the home. But Susie held true to the Lord because she loved him. And she loved him not because of her daddy. She loved him not because of her mother. She loved him because she understood the grace of God and the salvation of the Lord. And it was some years later that Wayne was working with a guy that worked at a church. Wayne was no more a Christian than a man in the moon, but the guy said, come, you got to meet these girls. He worked at the church. He got Wayne to come. Wayne met Susie, and it was they were drawn to each other, and Susie just prayed and prayed and prayed that this guy would make that commitment, and she knew she had a good guy, and they both went on to serve the Lord, got married, and been serving the Lord for 51 years. Isn't that beautiful? It's all because of the grace of God. And the daisy, which means loyal love. It means innocence. You look at Susie, you see innocence. You see a loyal love there. Yeah, sometimes you see the Glock. I mean, you can't have two boys. It's the reality. In fact, it's a miracle they're alive today. I can't even imagine fathering Jonathan. I would have probably beat him to death a long time ago. His only consolation, his dad worked so hard when he came home, he was too tired to beat him. But I've raised 4 kids. I know what it's like. And anybody that says that everything's peaceful, wonderful all the time, you hang around me long enough, you find out even I'm preaching. Hey, a good fight's good every once in a while. When it happens every day, that's a problem. But we want the ladies to take these as just a reminder of the grace of God and the love of God that He showed to you. And the daisy, to encourage you to be loyal in your love and to be innocent in your walk with God, so that when He looks upon you, you'll find a pure heart, a heart that wants to follow after God. And that's what the daisy symbolizes. And it's such a beautiful flower. It's a simple flower. And when I look at the daisy, I think, what a flower for Susie to pick. She wants something just way out there, just the daisy. Something grows wild everywhere. And you see them, and they're just gorgeous. One of the cheapest flowers you can buy. And it's a simple thing, but it reminds me of her unadulterated love towards the Lord Jesus Christ, and what grace it's taken to bring her to where she's at today. And a lot of people don't know that story, but all of us have stories, and all of us have been hurt and gone through hard times. And you can live in the past, or you can look to the future and see God do good things in your life. And I always try to live in the present and be thankful to God for every dad. She's lived like that. Been an example. We've been around him for almost 24 years now, and we respect him with all of our hearts. So couldn't have better supporters of this church than Wayne and Susie Carter. And so Susie, today is just an honor, and I wanted to give you your keychain. That was my purpose. Let's go. Come on up, and everybody that's a mother, come on, or you've been a mother to somebody, maybe you didn't. There's all different types of mothers. There's mothers that have never had children, but they've been a mother to other children. My daughter has never had a child, but she has 3 that she's adopted. I want you to come, moms. I want you to take one of these, just hold it in your hand. I want to pray for you this morning. We love our mothers, don't we? We love them today. And none of us would be here without our moms. Amen? I called my mom last night to tell her I loved her. And I wish her another happy Mother's Day. And make sure all the moms get some.
All the work I do at work, at home.
Abraham Lincoln said, all that I am, all that I've ever become is because of my angel mom. And we have a bunch of angels here, don't we? And I thank thank God for each one of them. Yes, Sister Susie.
If I have anything on my heart to say, thank you. I'm probably one of the most unworthy ladies to be up here. I was raised by a single mother, 12 on, and my heart goes out to the single mothers who has raised children on their own. I'm talking the Liz's and the Darlings and the Marlenes, the Mary, Charlene is Mary, and my heart grieves for you because you have a heavy job raising children on your own. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much for all you do to and for your children. Not having a gentleman by your side, you go ahead and do what God requires you to do. And I think about my own mother. She had struggling, and I grieve that for her because she hurt and never was ministered to in a way that could move her to Jesus. She just kind of repelled that. Don't let that happen to you, single mothers. Valerie, Whitehead, wherever you are, don't let any of that draw you away from God, but to woo you to God more in a relationship with Him. Let God take over and be your man, be your helper, your rescuer. I could feel from that time on that the separation of my parents, that I needed God, even as simple as I was, and the little Gentle Baptist church that was everything to me. The people in it. God gave me that grace and mercy and the love. I know He started filling me with the love, and I feel His presence and His help. And He is the one that has grown me and been merciful to me and helped me. Simple people need that extra help, and I would be one of them. And I just thank the Lord for all of you. You're so dear to me. Every one of you are dear to this heart, this being. I love you all so much, from back to front, and even Robbie. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. I want to pray for these ladies, and then you all want to give Susie a hug, you can. And we love you, Susie, so much. Lord, we thank you for each of these moms and what they represent, the hardships, the struggles, Lord, the difficult nights and days, and the struggles physically and financially, and the burdens that they've bared for their family, and the sacrifices they've made. And only you know all that went on in the lives of these women and what they represent. We know it's your grace that's brought them this far. And your grace has been sufficient, and your grace will continue to be sufficient for them to lead them all the way, Lord. And so as they hold these little emblems in their hand, let them draw from that grace today all that they need, God. They would learn to trust in you and to believe in you and to know that you have everything under control. And even when their world seems to be falling apart, Lord, that they would understand that, Lord, you are the one and only one that can lead them through the difficult times and the good times in life. So, Lord, let them draw from your grace today. Bless them, Lord, with a greater knowledge of you and a greater love for you. And let them realize that without you, they can do nothing, but with you, they can do all things. And keep your hand upon each one of them, on their families, on their children. Make them a blessing, a beautiful blessing. Lord, we'll praise you for that. For we ask it in Jesus' wonderful name. Amen. Amen. Give this lady a hug and God bless you. Hallelujah. Lord, we love you because you first loved us. The more that we've loved you, the more wonderful and worthy you've become. Lord, we stand in your awesome presence.